Start with some injury news, please, Tony.
Yeah, we got 1 or 2 niggles. We're not sure whether they'll be okay or not, but that'll be taken. The view will be taken later on.
How important then are these next 2 or 3 games? Because you've got games against teams in the lower half of the division that have been struggling recently. Then you've got a game against Everton, who are directly above you. These 2 games, at the very least, provide an opportunity to put pressure on them, doesn't it?
Yeah, just concerned about Bournemouth, and that's the most important thing, is just to make sure we're prepared properly for what will be a tough game. It's important that we do focus on them and not the others. We'll wait until we get them out of the way, and then we'll look at the next game from there.
Just looking at the trend in recent games, you've scored very, very early, I think inside the first 5-6 minutes. Is that strategic on your part? Do you like your teams to start as fast as possible and try and get on top of teams early on?
No, it's just the way it pans out at times. I don't think there's any set way in respect of scoring goals. We've at times started slowly this season as well, so it's been a mix. It's lovely to score early because it settles the team down, but I think there's a mixture in there of us not scoring early and scoring early. So over a season, I think it evens itself out.
Will you have half an eye on the EFL Cup final on Sunday? Because I think there's a scenario where if United win, it obviously increases your chances of qualifying for Europe.
No, that's all I'm concerned about. I keep saying it. I'm concerned about Bournemouth. The most important thing in my mind now, on a Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and then when I wake up tomorrow, is just winning that game against Bournemouth. I'm not concerned about anything else.
But you must have a 2 or 3 month view of things, though. Surely, I mean, what would Europe do for?
How many times now do you want me to say that the only thing is the Bournemouth game? And I think that people who look further than that, I just don't think are in the mode that they should be in, because I'm concerned and concentrated on just getting one thing right, and that's that game against Bournemouth.
I think your chairman John Williams gave an interview in the last 24 hours saying he doesn't think the squad will need much freshening up in the summer. What's your view on that? Can you sign too many players, do you think?
No, I think John has agreed that if we're going to sign players, they have to be of an ilk that can improve the first 11 and to bring the quality in that we need. So, he's been he's been very open and honest about the situation. Mr. Lai will be kept well up to speed in what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve, and hopefully we'll be able to get those players in that we want.
Mark Classenberg takes charge tomorrow. Are you surprised the referee of that calibre, somebody at the peak of his career, has decided to leave the Premier League at the end of the season?
No, I'm sure Mark has his own reasons why he's doing it, why he's not doing it. I think the best person to talk to about that is Mark, because he'll tell you firsthand what his reasons are. He's been a top referee. He's wonderful. Last year with what he's done and the games that he's refereed. The quality has come through. He's refereed in a lot of the top matches because he is a top referee. And if he wants to move on, then I'm sure Mark will have the reasons why he wants to do that. I'm not so sure. So I'll most probably speak to him after the game Saturday.
What have you made of Bournemouth in the last couple of months? They've conceded quite a few goals since Christmas, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a fantastic story, and Eddie's a top young manager. I've got great respect for him, the football club, and the players. They've done exceptionally well over the past 3 or 4 years there, and we know we'll have a tough game here. They've got some good players. They've brought some good players in. They've got a good squad of players. It's not just the 11. They have good backups as well. So we know it'll be a tough game.
Big news last night, of course, Claudio Ranieri being sacked from Leicester. What was your reaction initially, and obviously have you had time to think about it since? Yeah,
I'm obviously always disappointed when a manager leaves. But this is the Premier League. This is football. This is my argument with you in respect of one of the questions you asked. You've got to be focused on the next game. In management, it turns so quickly. You've got to absolutely be focused on the next game and the next game. You can't take your foot off the pedal. And I'm afraid that if you do that, if you start to get relaxed or take things for granted, it's the worst game in the world for kicking you up the backside, this game. And, I'm disappointed for the manager. I'm disappointed for Leicester, really, because it was, and it has been a tremendous year for them. and what they've achieved. And you know, let's be fair, there's still 13 games to go. They could still have a run of games and finish mid-table, and they could still get through to the next round of the Champions League, which again would be a remarkable season.
You surprised at the timing though, given that they did have quite a positive result in Seville?
I'm as I've said, you know, that again, you're asking me about something that I'm not privy to. You'd have to speak to the people at Leicester. The one thing I'll say is that, you know, I'm disappointed. Am I surprised? I don't think you can be surprised at what happens in football at times. And as I've said, and I'll say it again and again, you know, you have to be focused on the next game and nothing else. And that's what sometimes people do. They lose focus. They lose direction, and you know, they get carried away maybe with the publicity and everything that surrounds it.